Last week, receiver Jimmy Horn Jr. became the first Buffalo to earn his number. By Saturday, receiver and cornerback Travis Hunter and defensive line Shane Coates got theirs as well. On Tuesday, 4 new numbers emerged from the Buffaloes. We'll start with a familiar face with a familiar number that has emerged from the Colorado's practice. Out of all the returning players this spring, it should come at no surprise that Trevor Woods has already begun to impress the new coaching staff, becoming the first player from last year's team to earn a number. The number 43 will once again be roaring around the Colorado secondary this fall at Folsom Field. It's validation, Woods said on Tuesday. Number 43 is just what I've always worn. My freshman year was the only time I've not worn it. It's what my dad wore in college and high school, so it's stuck with me since I was little. On a Colorado's defense that ranked one of the worst in the nation in 2022, Woods was one of the lone bright spots, consistently cleaning up messes and making open field tackles. The Katy, Texas native had 84 tackles, a pair of forced fumbles, and an interception against Arizona State. Woods then decided to stick it out in Boulder, even though there was a coaching change and saw several players brought in at his position, but that didn't change him as a person or a player one bit. If I was changing the way I work, that would mean I wasn't working hard before. You know what I mean? Woods said. What has changed him as a player, though, in just a short amount of time is working under defensive coordinator Charles Kelly, who's also Woods' position coach at safety and who has plenty of examples of previous players he's coached to show his current team. He's got an amazing resume, Woods said. Woods is also benefiting from his new partner at the back of the defense, Cameron Silman-Craig. Silman-Craig is also one of the first Colorado players to earn a number, choosing number 7, and the leadership on the field should come as no surprise. It's exactly what he expected when he transferred to Colorado. He might be a newcomer to the Colorado Buffaloes, but he's no stranger to the standards being set by head coach Deionsanders. Because of that, the junior safety is already one of the leaders for the Buffaloes, who has already completed 8 of the 15 spring practices. A safety is the quarterback of the defense, so it's kind of something you have to do, he said. I've been pretty good at it in my recent years. I feel like a part of me being here is to step up and be the leader. That was my role coming here when I signed papers. I'm like, okay, I gotta step up and lead these guys. That's not easy for a lot of newcomers, but Silman-Craig isn't the typical newcomer. At 5'10", 175 pounds, he's not as big as the typical safety, but he was a 2-year starter at Jackson State University, recording 113 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 5 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups. Last season, he was an HBCU All-American and first-team All-SWAC. He's aiming to make the same impact at Colorado. The next player to earn a number was linebacker Levante Bentley, and he will be wearing number 20. The 6', 240-pound native of Birmingham, Alabama, received several offers before joining Dabo Swinney's Tigers in 2018. Bentley was rated as number 177 overall player by Rivals.com out of high school and the 12th best player in Alabama. He is a well-disciplined workhorse who was a day one contributor for Coach Deionsanders. Bentley is an extremely physical defender and was credited with a total of 73 tackles, 11.5 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles in 417 defensive snaps across 40 career games as a reserve, according to Clemson. The final player to receive a number is returning linebacker Isaac Hurtado, and he will be wearing number 29. Now, he's not a familiar name to me, but let's just jump into it. Hurtado is 6'3" and 230 pounds. He's a native of Cypress, California. Hurtado played one season at Fulton Community College, helping the Hornets to the SCFA Southern Conference Championship game, an appearance in the SCFA Pacific Bowl under Coach Garrett Campbell. He finished his only season there with 45 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery playing linebacker. In 2021, he enrolled in Colorado in January of 2022. As the Buffaloes surpass the halfway mark of spring, they have 7 practices remaining. From the day he was hired in December, Coach Deion Sanders has talked about changing the culture and attitude of the team that went 1-11 a year ago. The Buffaloes aren't there yet, and Sanders once again reiterated that the Buffaloes likely aren't done shaping their roster as they prepare for the September 2nd opener at TCU. The team that we're playing with now is not the team that we're going to play with in Texas, the first game, Sanders said, followed by a long pause. Do I need to say any more? It's not going to be that. It's going to be a lot of new faces, a lot of new attitudes, a lot of new understanding, and a lot of new wants and desires, and you've got to have it. There has to be a sense of urgency. After conducting the first several practices indoors, the Buffaloes have hit the grass at Franklin Field. While the Buffaloes aren't where Coach Sanders wants them to be, he does believe the team is developing throughout the process. During his Hall of Fame playing career, Coach Sanders lived up to a high standard every day and has carried confidence throughout his life. Teams often adopt the mentality of their head coach, and Sanders is striving for that with the Buffaloes. God, I hope so, he said. That's what I want. I hope so. That's what I'm looking for.